Hi, and a warm welcome to you on this Sunday in August 2023. And today's subject is about ingredients that are in our makeup, and specifically one ingredient that shows up in about 90% of makeup. Now, it doesn't matter whether you're we'll talk about foundation at the moment. So it doesn't matter whether it's a powder foundation, a pressed foundation, or a liquid foundation. The basic premise of making a mineral foundation is that they make the mineral powder first and then they add it into the liquid foundation. So my name is Jan Benham and I've been a cosmetic formulator for over 35 years, and I have my own makeup and cosmetic company, and I also teach people how to make makeup as well. So let's look at how foundation is made. So again, we're looking at the powder, and here I deliberately made up some white powder that makes the base of the mineral foundation, and here we have the pigment. So this particular ingredient that I'm talking about, which I will mention in a moment, makes up about 50% usually of the white powder base. So the white powder base is actually the most important component of the mineral foundation. As you can see, there's very little pigment to the white powder. So this base, this filler that they use, and it is just a filler, is basically just a base, and then they add extra ingredients in order to get the best foundation possible. So for example, what do you want a foundation to do? So first of all, we want to cover up any blemishes on the skin. We want to even out the skin tone. We want it to have a nice slip and glide over the skin. We want the skin to feel awesome. And we also want it to be invisible. So we're asking a lot for the foundation to do. So the companies that generally use talc, this would be 50% of talc. And then they add the other ingredients in which do the jobs that we've just described. Now, companies that don't want to use talc sometimes use cornstarch. We use rice powder that has been cosmetically graded so it doesn't have a smell of rice. And we also add oat silk in as a base too, because the oat silk adds a lovely creaminess to the texture of the foundation. And then what the companies will do to the base, whether it be talc or cornstarch or rice powder or whatever, is they will then add, some people use mica as well, by the way, as a base. So what they then do is they will then add ingredients that will do the job of covering and also helping to even out the skin tone. So what most companies will use for sticking, and also for sticking the foundation and also for covering, is something called zinc oxide, which is very sticky. It also covers really well. Other companies might use titanium dioxide, which does a similar job. It also has UV protection as well. And so we will add zinc oxide, and then you can add other ingredients such as kaolin clay. I'm just talking about what we add, mica, silica, which gives a lovely silky feeling to the foundation on the skin, magnesium, and the list goes on and on. So what we do is we make the powder foundation, and then it's mixed in with the pigment, and then it makes the foundation. So this actually is what we make to make the cool canvas color foundation. Obviously we make a much larger quantity than this, but this is just to give you a visual of what it looks like. So why is talc so bad? So talc, unfortunately, it is mined in the earth. It comes naturally with asbestos. So when it is mined, there is always the possibility of some asbestos being mined alongside with the talcum powder. And there have been more and more reports coming up over the years of people having problems You know, they've applied talcum powder since they were babies or on the children. They've used it on themselves, all over the body. The powder flies everywhere. They breathe it in, and they breathe in asbestos too. And there's been a few lawsuits against Johnson & Johnson, for example. I do have a report that I'm going to add below, which will give you the full picture of what's been happening. Now, my concern about talc came because I'm doing a research project on children's makeup for a book called Kiddies Glam. And when you go to any toy store and you look at children's makeup, the first thing you will see on the ingredient list is talc. Whether it be for eyeshadows, for blushes, for bronzers, for foundations, or whatever. Anything that's got a powder in will contain talc, unless it says otherwise. I've also been kind of frustrated because if you go on Amazon and look at children's makeup, it's very hard to find ingredient list, almost impossible. So there's been a lot of little covering up here. Now in the report that, as I said, is below, there were some studies done where they took some sampling of different makeup brands, and they checked for asbestos, and they found traces of asbestos in quite a lot of percentages of makeup. So this is why it's very important to read the ingredient list, and also if it's first on the label, then it's the ingredient that is most common in that product. So it's the highest percentage of ingredient in that product. So my message for you today is to read the report, and also to look at the list of ingredients. And if they don't have the ingredients there, there's usually a red flag there, because people who know that their products are good will be transparent in what is in their products. And just stay away from using anything with talc. And as I said, talc is not just in foundation, it's in, and you imagine with mineral foundation, for example, you're putting it on a brush and you're brushing all over, you're breathing it in. You don't want to be breathing in talc that might be laced with asbestos. So next week we will have, or in the future, we will have another ingredient that I'll be looking at, and what to look out for, and what to avoid, and also what is good as well. So if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Otherwise, it's bye for now.